Alright, we're here in Las Vegas. We're about to gamble all our life savings. No. There's a lot of people here, and they spend money, and they lose it. And then they try and they take out a loan, and they lose that. So I just got back from Las Vegas. I lost my house. We're now renting a junior one-bedroom. Don't worry about that. I didn't go to Vegas to gamble like a troglodyte degenerate. I went there to see the nature and to learn and to love. And I had the time of my life. Marcus Rothkranz invited me out to spend the week with him, and I just wanted to learn everything I could. He's like a raw food master, but also we have a ton in common. We're both camera nerds, and he just wanted to show me Las Vegas. This is my first time in America since I was like 4 years old. I barely remember anything, so it's like a Canadian in America, seeing all this stuff. So I got a ton of footage and fun things to show you. Let's talk about Las Vegas from a Canadian's mind.
He's walking somewhere.
So my first impressions just flying in, you saw it in the first Vegas vlog, was like, wow, this place, all the bright lights, the moon, the creativity, the nightlife. It was like, I'm not used to seeing that. Golden buildings, we have some, but they're like banks and boring stuff. That ball that can be a moon or an eye or whatever it wants, that is unique. I tell you, we saw it during the day, it was off. That's bullshit. Turn it on at all times. I missed it. I didn't see anything that day. Come on. I'm gonna do a separate video on all the stuff I learned from Marcus and Kara, raw food masters for like 30 years. They're like 90 years old and they look like they're 25. Fantastic stuff. So that'll be in another video. This is more about what it felt like to be in the desert heat. Speaking of the desert heat, I went there all excited to experience the dry heat for the first time. I was like, oh, what's that like? I've been to Thailand, super humid and hot, and it's like unbearable. So I get there and he's like, oh, it just rained. It's actually quite humid. This is odd. It never happens. I brought humidity with me. It sucks. I didn't get to feel it. It was just hot and humid the whole time. Why? Me and Marcus went for a walk and we saw this truck and it said Water Patrol. I was like, what is that? These people drive around your neighborhood making sure that you don't waste water. It's the desert and water is of high priority. And so like they go and if they see you drinking a cup of water, like how many cups have you had today? Spray their water. Spray it with the stuff, Steve. They take your water and beat you, I think. I didn't see it happening, but I'm just imagining if you're taking a bath or something, they unplug most of the water and save it and then distribute it to the village. It's a good system. But other than the sweltering, oppressive heat that I felt in my loins, my first impression really of the daytime was, wow, these skies are so beautiful. They're so blue. Not one chemtrail in the whole thing. Now, regardless of what you think chemtrails are, some are non-believers that, oh, there's just a contrail. Regardless of whether you think the government's trying to kill us or if they're just dumb, they're ugly. They spray the skies, even if it's by accident, and it's just the jet fuel. It's nasty looking and it expands and then it's like fake cloudiness the whole day. Vegas doesn't do that ever. So it's like, wow, that's what a sky looks like in clouds. It looks really nice actually. I think it was my second day there. Marcus took me out to Red Rock, the desert. I was awestruck. We started walking through this path. It's hot, it's desert, there's shrubs. I'm like, anything edible here? There's nothing. Just spiky things that hurt you, not one wildlife. Yeah, I saw an ant, a couple ants trying to carry away stuff. That was pretty magical, but I was looking for like an armadillo or some kind of coyote carrying a leopard. But as we're walking towards this mountain, I felt the presence. I don't know what I felt. It was just this silent peace and then the giant mountain before us, and I was like, the energies that I was feeling, the desert energies, hippie stuff was entering my body, and I was like, what is this? It was so peaceful and calm, yet majestic. I saw a mountain in Thailand. It was all covered in trees. This is different. It's a rock. I think it was a giant tree that was cut down by the giants that used to rule our earth. They live in Greenland now, just so you know. I was like just blown away. I never felt that in nature anywhere. Most of my nature is next to a highway, and I'm just out there like, this is the most peaceful, beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I don't know how Marcus doesn't burn. He went shirtless the whole time, and I'm like covered in long sleeves. My calves were aching the next day. When I took a shower, they stung. And some other white kid took a walk. He went for a long walk on that same trail, came back, no hat, no nothing. He looked like he was pale, like he was goth or something. Wow. It's interesting, if you're healthy, the sun doesn't seem to age you like it does other people. I saw like a lot of what seemed like homeless people in Vegas, and they just looked weathered. Like they were baking in the sun. They looked baked, like at 400 degrees for 90 minutes. That's what most people look like out there, just the skin of leather. So we're here on the Vegas Strip, and I leave the house. I get out of the car. I look down. What am I doing? These are the house slippers. I forgot my sandals. I'm in slippers. Help. Help. I think the third day, Marcus took me out to the Vegas Strip so we could walk in the casinos and stuff in my slippers. I actually ended up going barefoot. Those slippers were quite uncomfortable, so I strapped them to my back, and I was like, if we get kicked out, you don't know me. I'll just leave peacefully. I will cause a scene, but that's fine. And he's showing me just all the various areas, and it's just like, Vegas is so creative. Like, they recreate all these towns. You know how Toronto has like Chinatown and all these things? Vegas like actually builds a Statue of Liberty. Like, they have Little New York, and then you go inside New York and it looks like the streets of New York. Like, they have a brick road, and they got like these restaurants, and then like apartment buildings above, and the sky is painted blue, and it's like, that looks like an indoor city. Wow. But it was very like flashy and just cartoonish as we're driving down the strip. It's like, the one thing when you're in Vegas, I like when I go to a new place, I'm thinking like, oh, these are the people of that city. But when you're in Vegas, it's like everybody could be from anywhere. You never know where anybody's from. So it's like, oh, these are not Vegas people unless you go out to the suburbs. Then you get some Vegas heart. But like, it's a weird thing. But we're talking like Eiffel Tower. They rebuilt it, Little Paris. And all these like famous buildings that I've heard the name of in the past, but then getting to see them was like really cool. I saw the Flamingo. No, I hadn't heard of it before, but apparently it's famous. And it's pink. Pink love building for lovers. Now, as you saw earlier, I brought slippers to the strip, and they were not comfortable, and I'm used to going barefoot everywhere, so I was like, I'm just gonna go barefoot. And Marcus was like, I don't know, on the strip. I was like, look, this is fine. He's like, I'll buy you shoes. Let's go. He actually took me to a shoe store, but they didn't have barefoot shoes. So I was like, I can't do that. I'm just gonna go barefoot. It's more like, are you too embarrassed to be with me? I'll be fine. Will you be fine? And he's like, okay. I hope you don't get arrested. And I didn't. So I might be the first person ever to walk the strip barefoot. In the casinos, all the different textures, the carpets. There was marble. Oh, the marble feels good on the feet. That feels good. But it was cool. They had several of these types of buildings that were like, it looked like you were outdoors type of thing. It was very unique. I've never seen anything like that. That's just the creativity of Americans. Cannot be messed with. There was a breathing bar. I started to film it, and the lady was like, can I help you? I'm like, no, I'm just filming you for free. I want nothing of what you're selling. But wow, nice ceiling. It's a nice ceiling. Who did that? Michelangelo, the 9th. Was it him? Here's a slow motion panorama of a casino where you can see the gambling degenerates try to win their lives back. We got Hawaiian shirts. We got disappointed girlfriends. We have people hoping that slot machines aren't rigged, but they are. Will she win big? She lost everything. Lots of cool fancy archways and paintings on the roof, and it's like architecture that shows that people cared instead of just boring boxed walls and like, oh, it's drywall, it's safe and like linear. I like art. Seeing a building that has some art, Vegas has plenty of it. You know what was cool for me as a Canadian? Seeing all these like American restaurants that I've heard of before, like Carl's Jr. and In-N-Out Burger. I kept seeing them as we're driving by. I'm like, oh, there's that place. I would never eat there. I would never fathom what kind of nightmares would happen in the gut sack. But like, cool. Thank you for the obesity. We went to several actual nice restaurants, and this one Thai place, I think that was my favorite. I couldn't believe how delicious everything. Actually, the one thing that I ordered was not the best, but other things that Marcus gave me was like, wow, okay. There was like, I did order a Penang curry. That was fantastic. With the white rice in there, boom. And then he had a giant salad like that tall. I was like, wow, that's so tasty with the peanut sauce. And what else was there? There was a pineapple fried rice. That could be healthy. You don't know that they didn't fry it in canola oil. It might have been something good. We went to the Four Seasons and I was not allowed in. I had shorts on. They were like, sir, can you just leave quietly? A showgirl will escort you. Just be 10 feet away from the building at all times. So Marcus lent me pants and shoes and I was allowed back in, and I got 3 different salads. Freaking like beet circles. Like, it was super fancy and delicious. My overall takeaway from the city was way better than I ever imagined Las Vegas to be. Like, that's not somewhere I ever had on my bucket list. Like, it's Vegas. I think of just like casinos, a gambling town, nightlife, just like you're getting arrested at some point. It wasn't that. It was like tons of peaceful nature and then like nice restaurants. You can see whatever you want to see. The one thing I forgot to do was go to a grocery store. I wanted to see it. Like, just go through an American grocery store, see what kind of prices you guys are living with. I did see a Sprouts. I forgot to go inside it though. So I'll never know. And when I was looking up like what's in season, what fruits, it was like the same stuff that was in Ontario. Like, there was nothing. I wanted some unique cactus durian or something. It was spiky. It didn't exist. But thank you so much, Marcus, for inviting me out there. And we had so much fun. We have a lot in common. We both have health channels and camera channels. We're into those things. We're camera nerds. We're health nuts. And then we're just like, he's so calm and relaxing to hang around and so accommodating. He's always like, what do you need? Do you need this? You want to go here? And like, but him and Kara are just so sweet. Just sweet dumplings of love. Kara was just taking care of me the whole week, making gourmet food and picking me up from the airport, dropping me off. She created a nice room in her bed, had spring water by the bedside. And fantastic experience. I felt like I was at home. I was in the right hands. I got healthier day by day. Life was good, that Vegas life. But it was just such a fun trip. I never do anything. And when he offered to fly me out there and just like, I went there with $800 US, and he was like, nope, you're not paying for anything, sorry. I came home with $800. Now what do I do with it? Who wants $800? But it's just such a nice man. I learned so much, and from Kara, just the techniques, adding ginger to certain things you'd never think of adding it to. Food combining being a myth, exciting foods and flavors, and I just ate, and I was so healthy the whole time. I'll make another video about all that stuff. Stop talking. Just thumb up the video. How you doing? Thumbs down if you went to Vegas and you gambled your grandmother's dress. Well, how many chips would that even buy? Unlikely to be worth it for your grandmother to have to leave the casino in a girdle. She likely wears one. That's her time. How could you do that? Did you win? Did you at least buy her a new dress with your winnings? I doubt it. Not one that she liked. Thank you, Marcus and Kara. Fantastic trip. I will now leave in peace. Subscribing for more videos, and I'll see you in there.